Alright, what's up everybody? Back with another edition of Everyday Hoops. Hope you guys are having a good one. It's been a very interesting and chaotic last few hours in the NBA, as it always is, obviously, around this time. Draft day is today. Before this draft day, we gotta talk about the thing that happened last night that didn't break the NBA or anything, but it was just super crazy and very interesting. Kristaps Porzingis trade happened again. The first time didn't go through. Second time we're gonna talk all about it today. Thank you guys for the views on the videos and the shorts recently. Really appreciate it. If you enjoyed the content around here, consider subscribing, like, turn notifications, do all stuff like that. I really appreciate it. Really helps out a lot. And yeah, I don't want to waste any more of your time. Let's get right into it. So yesterday I made a video talking about the Kristaps Porzingis trade to the Celtics, the original trade with Malcolm Brogdon and Marcus Morris and the Wizards and all of that, and the Clippers. And then so that trade looked like it was gonna go down, stuff like that. Then all of a sudden, I think it probably was around 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Oh no, 10. It was 10 something, almost 10:30 Eastern Standard Time, where Woj tweets that the Celtics, Clippers, Wizards 3-team trade's falling apart, and that shook everybody because everyone was like, "What?" And apparently, it came out later that Malcolm Brogdon has a serious injury. He was injured for late in the playoffs last year with an arm injury, and apparently that injury is still nagging, so the Clippers are kind of worried about that, so they backed out of the trade. So Porzingis was still a Wizard. Brogdon went back to the Celtics. Everything went down happened. And so everyone was like, well, Porzingis might not be a Celtic, but Woj said they were still trying to continue the Porzingis and the Boston trade, even without the Clippers trying to maybe find a third team or something. And then maybe an hour or something later, is reported that Kristaps Porzingis trade is happening with a new team, the Memphis Grizzlies, and it really shocked everybody with what happened, how everyone went to where. The full details of the trade are this: so the Boston Celtics are getting Kristaps Porzingis, the 23rd overall pick from the Memphis Grizzlies, and a 2024 first-round pick from the Grizzlies. I don't know what the protection is on it, but it's a 2024 first. The Wizards are getting Tyus Jones from the Grizzlies, Danilo Gallinari and Mike Muscala from the Celtics, and the 35th pick in this draft from the Celtics, and the Memphis Grizzlies are getting Marcus Smart. Very interesting trade for all three sides. Let's talk about it really quick. For the Celtics, they finally get Porzingis. It took a little bit more. It took a little while. It took a few hours, but they get Porzingis. And like I said in my last video, well, actually, the last video has been deleted. Since then, I deleted it. So we'll talk about it again. This is really interesting for the Celtics. I mean, getting a guy like Porzingis that he had a great year last year. Porzingis had a career season. He averaged career high in points, field goal percentage, all the stuff like that. He had a great year. Didn't really miss a lot of games as he's normally used to. And he's just a really good fit, I feel like, with the Celtics. Being a guy on the offensive end, he can shoot the ball. The Celtics love their three-point shooters. So three-point shooting big, especially 7 for 3. And it gives them a lot of lineup versatility. You could throw him next to Al Horford and have a lineup of probably, I guess, now that Marcus Smart's gone, Derek White, Jaylen Brown, Tatum, Porzingis, and Horford. You could throw him next to Robert Williams, and he's also can be kind of a replacement-ish or security if Robert Williams gets hurt, because Robert Williams' injury history. You could slide Porzingis down to the 5 now and play with that small lineup of Porzingis. Then you have Tatum, Brown, other guards, like a lot of versatility in the lineup with him. And I think he's just going to be a very solid piece for the Celtics team. Very interesting. Now, defensively, I don't really know how well he's going to play on the perimeter, but we'll have to see. But I think it's a solid move for the Celtics, especially giving up not just the 35th pick, and then Marcus Smart was kind of a big deal, though. If it was originally Malcolm Brogdon, I would have been like, yes. But it's Marcus Smart's a little bit different, but still, I mean, getting a guy like Porzingis, and they also get 2 first-round picks in this draft as well. They get the 23rd pick, which they can use to fill out a position on the bench, and then they get a first-round pick from next year. Like, the Celtics really came out and wow. Like, they got Porzingis and 2 firsts. That's an amazing get for the Celtics. For the Grizzlies, they get Marcus Smart. They had to let go of Tyus Jones, but there's some reports that Tyus Jones might potentially get traded because he's going to be a free agent next year, and he's looking for a starting spot in the league. Even though John Morant will be suspended for 25 games, I thought Tyus Jones was going to come in and play really well and probably demand some money in the offseason. So the Grizzlies were like, you know what? We'll just trade him now. And, yeah. So now the Wizards get him. Yeah, I guess he'll be a starter on the Wizards. He'll probably win 22 games. But yeah, if I'm other teams, I'm definitely calling about Tyus Jones because Tyus Jones is one of the best, probably the best backup point guard in the league. He's just the assist to turnover ratio. He's just a really high IQ, just a really good basketball player. And I'm definitely sure a playoff team in need of something like him would definitely call and give up some stuff for a Tyus Jones like player. They also get Danilo Gallinari, Mike Muscala, Gallinari. I don't know if he's gonna play for the Wizards. Just came off the ACL tear last year. He might get bought out. Mike Muscala, I don't know. And then they also get the 35th pick in the draft, so they get another second round pick from Boston, which they can use for something decent. But yeah, the Wizards, they got. There's been a lot of talk about the packages, what they've gotten. They flipped Bradley Beal and Kristaps Porzingis. They did not get a first round pick. They got Chris Paul, Landry Shamet, Tyus Jones, Danilo Gallinari, Mike Muscala, and a couple second round picks. You know, um, yeah, it's tough. Especially because the point they started rebuild like literally a few days ago, and at this point the market is just not there for just blowing it up and getting all these pieces back. Especially when you gave Bradley Beal no trade clause and the money he had, it was very tough. It's gonna be very tough to trade him in the first place. And then with Porzingis, um, yeah, you weren't gonna realistically you weren't really gonna get two first round picks or an exciting young player for Porzingis. So this package isn't bad. It's something at least. At least you get something like Tyus Jones that could be valuable, maybe for to flip into something else, and you get another pick in the draft, which is solid. But yeah, I mean it's just tough. But the Wizards are just blowing it all up, starting it all over, and I love that. I love that the Wizards are doing this. They've been needing to do this for a while, and now they finally decided. It might be a little bit too late, but they decided to blow it up. And now I'm very interested to see what the Wizards do tonight in the draft and what they do for the rest of free agency. And then for the Grizzlies, they get Marcus Smart, which was a very interesting, very insane piece. I think that was more of the one that broke everybody. When Shams tweeted the Grizzlies or the Celtics are trading Marcus Smart to the Grizzlies, the whole NBA world like dropped their jaw, like, huh? Even I was like, what? Like, oh, and it's funny because the story was so this trade happened at like midnight Eastern Standard Time, and I was tired, so I was going to sleep. I literally was like in bed, eyes closed, had stuff I was listening to go to sleep, and then I hear my phone buzz, and it buzzed. And I looked back in it like 4 or 5 times, but I didn't really notice until the last one. And usually I don't really check my phone at that time. I'm like, you know what? I'm just trying to go to sleep. I'm so tired. I was just checking in the morning. It's probably nothing big anyway, but something in my head told me check your phone for really quick. And I was just like, all right, I checked it, and I saw I didn't even see that the trade happened. All I saw was Celtics are trading Marcus Smart to the Grizzlies, and that woke me right up. I went from falling asleep in 2 minutes to wide awake for another hour. I was like, wait, huh? Just insane. The Grizzlies get Marcus Smart. We know Dylan Brooks is going to come back, so Marcus Smart could be the replacement for Dylan Brooks, but also could probably be the starting point guard of this team. While Ja's injured, he did it in Boston. He might do it again in Memphis. I think he fits the culture there. He also brings a leadership. You know how he was in Boston. He was the heart and soul of the Celtics, a real leader on and off the court. So that's something the Grizzlies really need. And I really like it for the Grizzlies getting Marcus Smart. I think he fits that culture really well. Grizzlies fans are going to love him over there. This is going to be really good. It sucks that you have to give up Tyus, who's really good, and you also have to give up a couple first-round picks to get Marcus Smart, which isn't great, but maybe they can go get another first-round pick somewhere else because there were reports that the Grizzlies were trying to move up a little bit in the draft, so maybe they did this trade, but then they're going to get a pick back. I won't be surprised. That's what the Grizzlies usually do a lot of that stuff at the draft day the last few years. But I think he fits right in to the culture. It's just crazy. I tweeted, I said, dang, the Marcus Smart era is really over in Boston, man. He was the heart and soul defensive player of the year, the guy they drafted, the guy that gave his all to the Celtics, dyed his hair green for his mother. To the Celtics, gave it all, and now he's gone. He's in Memphis now. And I know a lot of Celtic fans it's bittersweet for them because they get Porzingis and they get two first-round picks, which they love, but they had to give up Marcus Smart, which was like kind of tearing the heart out. But you got to do what you got to do to get better, man. The NBA is a business. We've seen this stories like this plenty of times before, but it was just really crazy to see Marcus Smart will no longer be a Boston Celtic. Well, maybe he might come back later in the future. I don't know. He might be the type of player that might come back in a few years. But dang, Marcus Smart will not be a member of the Boston Celtics next season. At the start of the year, at least. That's insane. I still can't even think about him in another jersey beside the Celtics, man. But yeah, I think this is a solid trade for every team. I like it for the Grizzlies getting Marcus Smart, fits the culture. I like it for Boston. They get a guy Porzingis that really changes things, and they get a couple firsts. The Wizards just get some stuff that maybe they can flip to something else, But yeah, the trade finally happens, and yeah, hopefully let's see what else happens tonight because tonight is draft night, and it's gonna be very interesting to see. But yeah, that's it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Once again, if you enjoyed the content around here, consider subscribing, like, turn notifications to all stuff like that. I really appreciate it. We have said a lot. We got a mock draft video coming out a little bit later. Maybe while you're watching this, the video is already out. Mock draft with the first round for tonight. Very, very excited to see what else happens because I feel like we might be in for some chaos. But yeah, I'll see you guys, well, later today, but I always say see you guys tomorrow.